All right, so we just watched highlights from the Premier League. We selected certain highlights from the Premier League, and I think two important results that I want to touch on. Not the losses now, actually the victories.
Okay.
The first question for the first victory we showed, and that's for Arsenal, their London derby against Crystal Palace. I'm going to ask two questions with what I'm going to explain now, Coach Dixon. So Arsenal won the game 1-0.
Yeah.
Showed grit and determination, won that game, whatever, the 3 points in the bag, they're 22 points. Manchester United game against Brighton. Myself and the Manchester United fan were talking about it on, I think, Friday or Thursday before the game. And I said, you will collect 3 at least. Because they've had a terrible record against Brighton in recent years.
Brighton have won the last 3 in a row.
Yes.
No matter the stadium.
Yeah, so home and away, Brighton will beat United. So I was like, it will continue. The streak will continue. But 2 shocking results. No, not 2 shocking. 1 shocking result. And a result that makes me wonder. Question 1, is this Arsenal's year? I know we've asked this question a gazillion times in recent times, but being that I don't see who is going to challenge them. Last season, they had Liverpool to drag with, and Liverpool held on to that lead from the beginning to the end of the season.
Yeah.
But this season, Liverpool dead. Pardon my expression. City, I've always said it here. I was even telling Akin, even after their victory in the Champions League last midweek, I told Akin that I'm not convinced with Man City. Their defense is suspect, and we saw them against Aston Villa. They lost that game. Chelsea, to me, they're not title material for league. They are good for short bursts of games where they can ginger themselves. But if you're going 10 games and above, I don't see Chelsea winning it because they are too inconsistent. You don't know which Chelsea will turn up, and they can claim injury. Everybody has injury, so leave that side. But so Chelsea, no for me. For the league, no. Who else is going to contend? Nobody. So Arsenal have it set for them. For me, this is the season that if they don't win it, then that question of maybe it's time for the coach to go should actually come into place because you've had everything you've always wanted, the players that you wanted, the striker that can score you goals, you've gotten that. In addition to that, your opposition is there. Some teams are at their weakest. So, which brings me to the second question. Manchester United, we had laughed at them all through last season that they couldn't win 2 games in a row. They've won 3. Back to back. So, could it be maybe their absence in Europe and the Carabao Cup is giving them nothing else to do? They just have FA Cup and the Premier League to navigate. But are they back? Are United back is the question I want to ask. Then 2, is this Arsenal's year? Based on what we've just watched, and you had a lot of time to analyze all this all the time you were away. So,
let me start with Manchester United. Even before when the season started, when these results came, it was shocking because, especially when the Champions League started, you said it already when you said they had to just navigate domestic competitions, and they were hosted out in the Carling Cup as early as the first round. So they just had the league to navigate. Especially if you look at the teams that lost over the weekend, the teams that probably didn't do so well had navigated some matches in midweek. Now, apart from let's also know that apart from players, this also takes a toll on the coaching, the backroom staff and the coach. Also.
Are you making an excuse for Chelsea?
No, I'm not making them. I'm just talking about what it takes to be in European competitions.
Okay.
But because people just think that it's just you wake up one morning and everything has to go in place X, Y, Z. Some people travel distance might be an issue. A coach, how do you navigate, especially if it's a young coach that is just getting to Europe? How do you navigate, 2 matches and the players to play how many minutes and all that? It takes a little toll on the backroom staff. I'm just trying to say the advantage that we're supposed to have seen from Manchester United. Where you have to just sit down and navigate weekend games. If they are taking advantage of that now, fantastic. I thought it would have come earlier. But one of the kudos I have to give to is the maybe Manchester United hierarchy, where with all the pressure to get Amorim's side. They stood by him and said, whether it was the salary they were scared of, I don't know. But for them to have stood by him and said, okay, let's see how this team will improve. Sometimes you just have to give a manager time and see how he does it. And I think right now the results are coming. Will he be consistent? And that's another discussion. If he gets consistent, they'll be clapping their hands and said it was the right call. But if he doesn't, they will say that conversation will come. But I think they've now playing good football. We could see, was it a bad day for Brighton? We don't know. But time will tell. But it was a good win. A good win because everybody said no matter how Manchester United was going to play good football, at least it was going to end up a draw because this was a Brighton side that I've always had a number against this Manchester United team, lately. And they've just went to Stamford Bridge, 1-3-1 there. So they were, in pretty good form. But good result for Manchester United. Can they build all this? We hope so. Because everybody have said, this is the Manchester United we want to see. Now they're into the top 4. Let them believe. They need to take advantage of not being in Europe. If you don't take advantage of being in Europe, when will you now take advantage? Are they going to win the league? I don't think so. But can they make top 4? If they take advantage of that scenario of not being in the league, in the Champions League or Europe, it will be very, very fantastic for them. Yeah,
it's so interesting to have two weird teams in the top 4 in the Premier League right now. Is Sunderland still in the top 4?
They are in the top 4.
In second and third are Sunderland, Bournemouth first, then Sunderland. And I'm wondering, imposters, what are you doing there? But it's what happens when the teams that are supposed to be challenging for such places, because we had interesting losses over the weekend. The explanation Coach Dixon gave for Manchester United, which they seem to be taking advantage of, is his explanation for Chelsea. Why they did? Because they were in midweek. They were in Champions League, and they won Ajax 5-1 in that game. Even though I believe the red card made all the difference, but red card is part of football, yes. But they were not the only ones who had tough games to navigate. Liverpool had a brilliant win against Frankfurt as well, away in Germany, but came to lose at home. We just lose away to Brentford. We just watched that. Same thing goes for City. City, first of all. City, they won their match. I told Akin they were going to beat Villarreal. They did beat Villarreal away, but came back to the EPL and lost to Aston Villa. So maybe that back-to-back away fact, I don't know, but I'm not going to give it because teams like Arsenal held on to win, even though both games were home games. Yeah, but I'm not going to still hold it. They didn't have to travel. Yeah, they didn't have to travel.
One, they didn't need to travel. 2, Crystal Palace is a good team too, but we saw how scrappy it was. But make no mistake, we've seen football at the time. Sometimes you need to scrap 1-0 victories.
Yeah, and that's why I give it to them.
This victory at the end of the day will be as important as any of your 4-0 or 5-0
Absolutely.
Or brilliant display. Maybe in games to come.
Yes.
Just get your 3 points. Right now, it seems to be as if nobody's challenging and going to run away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And rightly so because, the league says it all. The position in the league says it all. When you want to talk about consistency will win you the league.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the league is all about. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And how consistent you are with getting results will make you become the leader. They started it. I hope nothing happens in the near future.
I like how you put it, consistency. I think Arsenal just needs 10% more to complete 100. And that 10% is always at the end of the season. They do well, they always do well, beginning, middle, till end of the season. But just that last 2 months, some shoddy, I don't know what to call it, but I just believe if they can... I think this is their year because I don't see competition. I don't see any team that is going to rise up. City are still recovering from the mistake they made last season in January, where they went to rush to buy some players they didn't need, but they were in a situation when Rodri was out, and they went to buy players out of panic. They're still trying to cope with that situation because those players they brought in didn't gel. You've brought in another set of players that, when they face weak opposition, they seem to gel. They seem to play good football, but everybody has figured Pep out. They're just passing left, right, center, give it to Doku. He tries to go on the... Once you can just stop their flow, they are dead.
Yeah, I agree with you. It seems not tactical too much about the Pep Guardiola side. Now, I think this City side
so predictable.
Yes, is now really looking at individual brilliance from the machine, the Terminator, people call him Cyborg.
Haaland.
People and Doku, let's see that leg over that we bring and we score. Nothing really tactical, about the City side. But for us now, I think they have their game going. You have to give them credit for
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
If you look at the 4 best teams in Europe now, you have to put Arsenal in it. For me, I would rightly give it to Bayern Munich.
I don't know. I had this conversation with Akin last week during the Champions League, and I asked Akin, are we sleeping on Bayern? He said, nah, Bayern. He didn't put Bayern in his top 4 teams for the Champions League.
No. If you want to talk about form right now, they're the most informed team.
Thank you.
They've won 14 out of 14. How many goals have they considered? The least goal they've scored in games is 2 or 3.
3. It's 3 minimum.
So you have to give them to. You need to call the best team in Europe is actually Bayern Munich. You have to give it to them. Yes, Arsenal is in the mix. We have to give also
PSG is there too.
Arsenal is in the mix. PSG in the mix. These are teams that are doing so well in domestic league and also in the Champions League. And that's why when you asked me and said the 4 best players in the world also are going to come from these teams in Harry Kane, Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland in City, although a little deep in form, but Haaland has been performing in
he's in great form. He's in great form.
Outstanding performances.
Double-digit goals already this season. Him and Harry Kane.
There's no way you don't put
Bayern
Munich in the mix. Now, taking nothing away from us, now they're in the mix too. Yeah. They're more coordinated. They now play more like a team. It's not about all the old Saka. They can ground results.
Yes, even in his absence, they still won the games they played without him.
The best thing that is happening to them right now is keeping those clean sheets. And, say it all the way. I think this season people have laughed at it, but I said, any way you want to win football, it's a way. And people have said, a lot of teams have scored more on set piece. We've seen the introduction of almost half of the team is having long throws, to score goals. Long throw, corner. I mean, corners have
every win now.
That's it. Right now, I'm not going to blame anything because if that is how the Super Eagles will navigate themselves to the World Cup, bring it on. If you are going to do long throw, what's the open play? I don't want open play against Gabon. What's open play? Give me corner. Give his corner. Because every time, Arsenal always open their scoring with corner. People don't say corner. I'm like, it's a goal.
Oh, my word.
So, the only problem people have is because it's not their team.
Absolutely.
As a Super Eagles fan, I don't want corner. I want corner. As a Mbappe fan, do I want corner? I want corner.
Okay. I like how you brought it home. And we'll be talking on the home front. Rivers United have qualified to the CAF.
First team in 7 years.
First 9 years. It's 9 years.
Finidi
the first Nigerian team to qualify to the group stage of the CAF Champions League in 9 years.
Finidi.
Rivers United.
Why nobody is talking about Finidi?
What am I supposed to talk about?
Is he the best coach in Nigerian league?
Obviously.
Okay, so we've settled that. So
I'm cool with you so long as he's not coaching Enyimba. I'm fine. As long as he's not coaching Enyimba. But he also had the worst results of the coaches that took us for World Cup qualifiers.
Let's talk about the league. Let's talk about
where you're dealing with local champions. Yeah, you're dealing with local champions. Anyways,
how come Remo is not doing local champion?
Remo went to disgrace Nigeria in Africa. They collected 7-1 aggregates.
No, but what were you expecting? What were you expecting?
I was not expecting. We showed the match last week. They collected 5 at home. 5. 5, Dixon. 5.
They were all over the place.
They were scattered.
They were all over the place.
We had a trial last week. We talked about it, myself and Aki. It was embarrassing. Anyways, just to let you know, they lost the game away. They even saw it for us. I gave us only 2.
What were you playing for again?
They rested how many players?
No,
they rested 9 players.
They rested most of their players.
They rested several players.
Come on. Rightly so.
I think the only 2 players that made the team were the captain, William, and the person who scored the first goal.
But when those draws were made,
we didn't see this bad now. We didn't see this bad. If they gave us 5-1 in South Africa, I would say, what do you expect now? Even Super Eagles could not go and win there. But in your own home, they gave you 5-1.
People forget when they draw. We said we will try. Remo. People forget.
Anybody
people
have that
didn't watch.
mindset?
They didn't watch the Sundowns in the World Club. Did they even
Sundowns won a game in the Club World Cup.
They won, and one of the games they lost was to Borussia Dortmund. It was 4-3.
They scored 3.
Imagine Remo and Dortmund.
19-2.
One penalty.
Out of sorriness. Out of everyone like, let me sorry for this.
And it's a mistake from
From the goalkeeper. Anyways, we're going to jump into a couple of highlights now. Coach Dixon mentioned Bayern Munich, much to my delight, because I've been rooting for Bayern. I'm rooting 100% behind Harry Kane. For me, he's my Ballon d'Or winner he's my Ballon d'Or winner this year. That's all, as far as I'm concerned.
It's going to be if
if
you're supposed to choose right now, I think the top 3 will be Alan, Mbappe, and Harry Kane.
Yeah. And I'll personally give it to Harry Kane, because what he has achieved with Bayern. I mean, come on. Quickest to 100 goals in Europe.
Yeah.
With 104 matches, 100 goals. And when did he join Bayern that he scored 100 goals already? And he just keeps scoring every game he plays. Every game is ridiculous. We're going to watch another highlight now of their game against Borussia Mönchengladbach. He scored again. Goal-scoring machine. Ridiculous. For me, top striker. But my top 3 strikers, Mbappe doesn't make the list too. Or I don't know. He's
3.
My top 3 strikers.
Who is getting...
Victor Osimhen. Osimhen has been in blistering form. Yes, you will say he's playing because he's playing in Turkey.
No. That.
He has done it for club. He has done it for country. That hat-trick at the the World Cup qualifiers, to me, it just, because of what was at stake, it just raised the dike for me for Osimhen. I'm wondering, clubs like Liverpool that went to go and get Ekitike and Wirtz and what's his name now, Isak. You went to get Isak when Osimhen was there. Are you seeing the numbers Osimhen is putting out?
For me, I don't want to put numbers like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, because will I pick Harry Kane over Alan? I don't know. Will I pick Alan over Harry Kane? I don't know. Will I pick Mbappe over Osimhen? I don't know. Will I pick Osimhen over? But I have to say that in that pool, they are in there in that pool. But I won't say.
So let's just make it top 4.
Yes, I won't say 1, 2, 3, 4.
So
that's the pool.
The 4 players, yeah.
Yes,
in no particular order.
Yes, that's the pool.
So for me,
100%.
He's been scoring in every game. It's just that their commentaries in Turkish. So I mean, except you enjoy it. If you do, please say so on the Prime Sports Book. We can add Osimhen's highlight. He's been in blistering form in Europe and for country.